Everyone, my name is Amy and I am the Children's Librarian at Thornton Library, and today we are going to once again do another Kids Tech Time when we're going to learn how to code a dinosaur dance party on Scratch. This is just a little preview, but this is what we'll be coding today. So, if that looks like it's super fun, which it does, you can follow my instructions and you can learn how to do it yourself. Once again, we do have the books available at the library for you to check out, and there's a gazillion more games and simulations and things you can do on there. So last week we learned how the basics of Scratch, and we learned how to sign up for an account. Scratch is free, and so you don't actually have to use an account, but if you want to save your work and come back to it later, if you want to share your work, if you really want to dive in and really learn how to code, then I do suggest you get an account for Scratch. Parents can get on there. It's through the University of MIT, and this is a free coding program for kids. It's a very kid-friendly program that teaches them basically how to make games, how to make simulations, all that on the computer. So it's really fun. We're going to do obviously a new Scratch simulation. So once you log in or you go to scratch.mit.edu, you're going to come to the words create, and it will take you to a whole new look like this. So once again, we're going to review a little bit what actually is happening on the screen. So over here you have all of your coding. These are all of the different moves and controls you can give your computer to do. And there's, honestly, it doesn't look like that. Looks like much. I can't talk. I'm sorry, guys. But you really have an endless amount of things you can do here through the coding. The limit is your imagination. Later on, and actually also today, we will learn a little about the costuming tab, and then we can also add sounds to our coding. Over here in this gray box is where you are going to move your code. So basically the way Scratch works is you click and you drag what you want your little character over here to be doing, and you drag it over into this empty gray area and it will do it. Obviously if you mess up, once again you can click and you can drag it back over there and it erases it. Over here is your sprite, is what the characters are called. Scratch, the mascot, is the cat, and so that's what it always comes up with. Today we will actually be using Dinosaur, so I will show you how you can get a new sprite, and we're also going to be playing around with sounds and with backdrops. So we get to really dive into a lot of that today. It's going to be really fun. Over here is the start and stop for all of your simulations, and this button will also let you do bring it full screen like here, so you can really see what you created. Like that. So what you need to do to get started is once again you need to go to scratch.mit.edu, click create, and you'll be taken to this empty page here. Today, like I said, we're going to be creating a dinosaur dance party. You don't have to use dinosaurs. You can do whatever animal you like the best, but I'm going to choose dinosaurs because they are fun. So, like I said, with Scratch, the mascot is the cat, and so you will always have the cat as the sprite that comes up. Because we don't want to use the cat today, we want to use the dinosaur. We're going to come over here where it has highlighted the sprite 1. You see here with a little trash can to delete it. We're going to click that trash can, and see, no more sprite. We deleted it. Now, when doing so, you also notice that the motion went away. There are no motion blocks because obviously you have no sprite, and so you can't actually move something that you don't have. So our first thing we need to do is we need to get the sprite that we want. So you come over here to where the cat face is. Here you see the words to choose a sprite next to it. Click it, and you have all the sprites that you want to use. Like I said, you don't have to use dinosaur. You can use a ghost, you can use a goalie, you can use a goblin, really anything that you want to use. I'm going to use a dinosaur. So I could search through all of the things here, or I can go to the search bar and type in dinosaur and look at all the which options I have. For this one, I'm going to use the same dinosaur for all of my dancers, but you don't have to. When you learn what the coding is, you can choose, you can have a different dinosaur each time. But I'm going to use this one for now. And so now I have my sprite again, and you can see my motion coding is back because I have a sprite, so now I can make him move all over the place. Alright, so the first thing we want to do is we're going to talk about how to make our dinosaur dance. So the first thing we're going to go is going to go over here to events, and we're going to see when the space key is pressed. So the space key is the space bar on your keyboard. You're going to drag it to this gray area. Underneath that, you're going to go over here to where it says look. So you have the purplish looking coding blocks, and you're going to say next costume. So let's find, there it is, next costume, and you're going to drag it, and it will click into place underneath when space key is pressed. Basically, this code is saying that when you press the space bar on your keyboard, your dinosaur will change dance moves. So we're going to press the keyboard, and as you can see, every time I press the space bar, my dinosaur changes dance moves. Now, each sprite comes with a certain amount of dance moves, and if you want to see what those are, you're going to go over to where the costumes is. And you can see, clicking on dinosaur, you have dinosaur A, dinosaur B, C, and D. And these are all the dances that your dinosaur can do. And this is kind of the moves that he is going to rotate through. And obviously, if you check out the books we have in the library, there are a lot more things you can do with the costumes. You can change colors, all kinds of stuff. But today, that is where we're going to stop, is with the different dance moves. Alright, so let's go back to our code here. Press the word code. And we are actually going to get rid of this. So drag, so if you want to get rid of all the blocks at a time, you can click the topmost block and drag it, and over there, and it'll erase it. So, like we learned last week, we want to make sure that when the green flag is clicked is always the top. This means that whenever the green flag is clicked, everything that is coded underneath it will happen. So, we want to make sure the green flag is clicked and go back to looks and click next costume. And then you're going to go to where it says control, which is the orange looking, and you're going to click the word forever code. Click it and drag it, and as you can see, as you're dragging it, it kind of creates a shadow as to kind of where it might be going. You're going to drag it so that it is over the next costume. This is creating a loop, and this means that whenever the green flag is clicked, the dinosaur will constantly change dance moves until we press stop. It will always, always, always do this because of the word forever, and this creates a loop. So let's try it and see. As you can see, he's dancing, but he's also dancing really, really, really fast. We can't tell what he's doing. So let's stop that. And we are going to try putting in a little bit more detail of a code. Now, today's simulation, it will get into quite a bit of detail. So I do encourage you guys to check the books out from the library. Obviously, you can stop and start this video and repeat and back up and watch what I do however many times you want to. But basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to get rid of the word next costume, drag it over here, and instead I am going to go over to looks, and I'm going to say switch costume to dinosaur 4D. And if you remember, if we go over to costumes, we have each dance costume has a name. So dinosaur 4A, 4B, 4C, and 4D. So basically what we're doing, we're switching once again between these 4 steps. So when it says switch costume to 4D, that means that whenever this code is clicked, he will always switch to this dance move. He will not change from this dance move. But that's not fun. We want a dinosaur to change dance moves. But we also don't want him to change crazy fast like he did before. So instead, underneath the switch costume 4D, we're going to go to control. Oop, there it is. And we're going to see where it says wait 1 second. We're going to click and drag that underneath. So, and then we're going to repeat this code. So we're going back to the looks, and we're going to go switch costume to 4D. and we're going to wait 1 second underneath it. Now once again, 4D, that's the same dance move still, so we haven't actually changed anything. He will still always do the same dance move, but like I said, we want him to do different dance moves. So you see this little arrow right here next to 4D? We can click that and it has the names of all 4 dance moves that the dinosaur can do. So how about let's have him do Dinosaur, we'll go from B and then he can switch to D. Now, as you can see, he's switching between 2 different dance moves and he's going a much slower pace so we can actually see what he's doing. But this is actually too slow because, I mean, it is a dance party. We want them to have fun. So let's shorten the time shorten the time between the times when he switches dance moves. So it says wait 1 second. Let's make it instead. Let's click in that little box. You see it's highlighted. And let's do half a second. So we're going to do 0.5. And that is half a second. And we're going to do that for both of those codes right there. So 0.5. So now it means that every half second he will change dance moves. So let's try this again. There we go. As you can see, he's still dancing and he's doing different dance moves, but it's going a little faster pace, but not too fast so that he looks like he drank 10 cups of coffee. So now let's stop. Well, so this is really fun. We've created our dinosaur, but our goal today is to create a dinosaur dance party. And you can't really have a dance party if you are just the only dinosaur in the room. So we want to create more sprites, but we don't want to have to go through creating the same code over and over again. So what we're going to do is we're going to come down here where our sprite is highlighted and we're going to right click with your mouse. When we right click, we see 3 words. Delete, which means that our sprite will be deleted. We don't want to do that. Export, which is a conversation for another day. Or duplicate. Duplicate means we are going to copy. So that's what we want to do. We want to copy our sprite again. So press the word duplicate. And now you have 2 sprites on the screen. And you can see that they both have the same code. And when you click the sprite, you can see that he is momentarily highlighted so you know which one you're dealing with. But the code never changes, which is great, which is what we want. But let's do it one more time. Let's right click on Dinosaur, on the Dinosaur 2, and we're going to press duplicate. So now we have 3 dinosaurs, and you can move them wherever you want on the screen. So let's click the green flag and let's see what happens. There we go. Now they're all doing the same dance moves at the same time, which is great, but it's kind of boring because when you're at a dance party, you're not really doing the same moves all the time. So let's have some fun here. Let's click on Dinosaur 2, and over here where it says switch costume to 4B and 4D, let's change that. Let's go 4C and then 4B. And then let's do Dinosaur 3. And we're going to say, let's see here, let's go to our costumes till we see what choices we've got. Let's go with, for 4D, and then 4C. So now let's press play. All right, there we go. How does that look, guys? Because now we've got 3 dinosaurs and they're doing all the dance moves, but they're doing different dance moves. So now it actually is beginning to look like a dance party, which is making it fun. All right, so let's stop this real quick. So now that we have our dance moves down, now we've got to figure out a background because it's kind of hard to get your jam on if you are on a plain white background. So we're going to go over here where it says choose a backdrop. Click that. And like I showed you last week, you have like a million gazillion different backdrops you can choose for your dance party. Because it's a dance party, we wanted to pretend like it's a concert. So we are going to choose Spotlight. And when we choose Spotlight, we see that they now have a background. And we can now move our sprites wherever we want on the stage. So I'm going to have, let's play them again and see which one has the best moves. Okay. So we're going to do the second dinosaur. He's going to be up here on the stand. And then both these dinosaurs are going to be over here on the side. But as you can see, these dinosaurs are actually kind of big. So maybe we should make some of these dinosaurs maybe a little bit smaller maybe. which is really easy. You can go over here where it says the word size. Right now it says 100. Let's highlight the word 100 and let's maybe put 85. And as you can see, that dinosaur got a little smaller. And let's do the same thing to all of our dinosaurs so that they're a little bit smaller and they can fit better in our screen. And you can always change it so that they're back to 100 anytime you want to. So now they fit a little better on our screen. And now they really are rocking and dancing, which is really fun. Let's make him actually stand on the screen so that he's like not floating in the air. There we go. How's that look, guys? All right. So now we're going to have some fun. But as a dance party, I think it's important for us to have all kinds of fun music and fun lights happening. So next, we are going to make sure our background is highlighted here. Oops. So highlight that. And we're going to put some code in that will make the lights turn different colors, okay? So once again, we want to go over to where events is, where it's yellow. And when green flag is clicked, drag it over here. As you can see, we're working with our background because it's highlighted there. There's a little picture of it right there. Next, we're going to go over to our purple. We're going to say change color effect by 25. This block changes only the backdrop colors, okay? It's not going to affect any of the sprites. And we're once again going to go to control and we're going to wait. But instead of 1 second, because 1 second is going to make it way too slow to change the lights. So let's make it, we want to change the lights kind of fast, but not crazy fast. Let's do only a little bit of time. So let's do 0.1 seconds. And we are going to once again create a loop. So we're going to drag the word forever block around. And dragging it around and making sure it's over the words change color effect and waiting 1 second will mean that for however long we are playing our simulation, the lights will always change. So now let's press play, our green flag. Let's see what happens. Now you can see our lights are changing and our dinosaurs are dancing and it's kind of awesome. But can you really have a dance party without music? No, you cannot. So come back over here to our sounds tab right there. And right now, our sound is meow. Well, we don't really want a meow. Or actually, no, it's pop. I'm sorry. Our sound is currently pop. We don't really want pop because that's not fun dance music. So come over here to where it says choose a sound. And you have all kinds of sounds you can choose. We want a fun dance party music. So I already know the title of what we're going to use. It's called Dance Around. Very good. So we're going to click that. And as you can see the little sound waves for our dance around video, for our dance around music. And you can choose any sound. So you don't have to use dance around. You can use slow music, fast music. You can use different kind of dance music, however you want. But this is the sound that I'm going to use for our example. Okay. So now we are going back to our code. And what we're going to do is we're going to go back to our dinosaurs. Actually, no, we're going to stay with our backdrop here. And we're going to do another kind of code. This is to make sure that our dance music will always play. So we're going to do, once again, when the green flag is clicked, and this is the start of this will always be the start of our code because this is saying that whenever we click the green flag, everything will start. And we want to do our pink coding, which always has to do with volume, and we're going to do play sound, dance around until done. As you can see, our title of the sound we chose, dance around, is already in there because the program saw that we had chosen a sound. So until done, and then we will do a loop around forever because, whoops, we want to continue playing. So we don't want dance around to just randomly stop in the middle of the party because that's not really a party. We want it to keep going until we decide when the party is over. All right, so now we have our dance party. So now let's click play. And there we example, I added a different kind of code here. And the code is that the middle dinosaur is moving back and forth. I also chose a different background for the example. It's the same thing. You can use this background. I kind of want more of a concert look, or you can use the one we have here. So now this code that we're about to do is a little bit more challenging. So you are welcome to try it. If you want to keep your skills where we've ended here, you can always press the 4 arrows here, and it goes big screen, and there you go, you create your dance party. But if you want to try adding a little bit more code, we can come back to where our coding is, and we want to add a little bit extra code to the guy on the stand, which is dinosaur number 2, okay? Now the code we're about to add is going to let him move back and forth like in my example, all right? So, like I said, this is kind of complicated, and we're going to use some blocks that are called if and then blocks, which basically mean that if something occurs, then something else will happen. And I'll explain a little bit more of it here in a second. But to start out first, when you go to our events, when the green flag is clicked, drag that over here. You're going to drag that underneath the code we already have. Then you're going to go to our motion, and you want to have set rotation style left to right. Now, what does that mean? Rotation style means that our middle dinosaur will always go from left to right. He's not going to go up and down. He's not going to go diagonal. He's not going to pop out of the computer screen and scare you. He is only going to move left and right. Obviously, you can change that. You can have him don't rotate, or you can have him dance all around. We're going to just go left and right for now. Next, we are going to go to our control. And you see the words if, then. This is going to let us do some very specific coding. The if-then block. It is a special block that chooses whether or not to run blocks inside it by asking a question. Okay, so basically, that's basically what it is. We're going to go to our light blue coding here. It says sensing. And we're going to say, let's see if we can find it. Let's see here. Oh, there it is. When key space is pressed. And we're going to add that. And as I'm dragging it, you can see that the little shape in the if-then block is highlighted. We're not going to put it underneath the coding like everything else is. We're going to put it inside this block right here. So that it looks like this when it's done. This is saying that if the space bar is pressed, then whatever is going to happen inside this code will occur. If the space bar is never pressed, then whatever happens inside this code will never happen. We're going to change the space bar to where it says the right arrow. So on your keyboard, toward the right of your space bar, you will see 3 arrows. They go up, down, left, and right. When the right arrow is pressed, then we're going to add something into our code, and that means that whatever is inside the code will happen whenever our right arrow is pressed, okay? What are we going to add in our code? Well, we're going to make the dinosaur go in different directions. So let's go back to our motion, and we're going to drag the word point in direction 90. This is basically, the 90 is basically he's going to move from left to right, is basically what he's going to do. He's also going to move 10 steps. So he's not just going to turn, he's going to actually move left to right. And you can change it, so if you want him to do 8 steps, or 9 steps, or 20 steps, or if you want him to change to not necessarily go left and right, then you can change that number as well. But for this example, we're going to just say basic left and right, okay? And then this is going to stay on a loop. So we're going to make sure we have our forever loop there. Now, this is if the right arrow is pressed. What happens if the left arrow is pressed? Well, let's repeat our coding that we've done here. Let's do the if-then block again. We're going to keep it inside our forever loop. We're going to move it underneath the code that we've already have. So we're going to go to our sensing again, key, and we're going to get the code we want. So this is key space press is what should be called. We're going to put, as you can see, it's highlighted on the screen as to kind of where it's going to pop in at. So we're going to pop it in there. And we're going to once again press the down arrow, and we're going to stay the left arrow. So we have right and left arrow. Let's go back to motion, and let's go to point and direction 90. But wait, we have point direction 90 over here, so that's not much different. So if we want him to go the opposite direction, then we need to have the minus sign in front of 90. So let's do minus 90. Now we have the minus sign. As you can see, the little arrow here changed to the opposite direction. And he's also, once again, going to move 10 steps. So what is this code saying? This is saying that if the right arrow is pressed, then the dinosaur will face one direction and he's going to move 10 steps. But if the left arrow is pressed, then he's going to change to the opposite direction and he's once again going to move 10 steps. This means that when we press the green button, all three dinosaurs will continue to dance. Only and only when you decide to press the right or left arrow keys will this middle guy actually move places. If you do not press your right or left arrow keys, this guy will not move. Okay? So, whoops. Let us do our 4 arrows here. So it's going to bring it big screen, and we're going to press the green flag. There we go, they're dancing, and as you can see, I have not pressed my right or left arrow keys, so all the dinosaurs are not moving, they're going to dance in place. But now when I press my right key, he moves. And when I press my left key, he moves. And that is how you create a dinosaur dance party. And once again, that complicated code that we did to make our middle guy dance back and forth, you can do the same thing to the other 2 dinosaurs. You can even add a bunch more sprites all around the stage so that you have a full-on dance party happening. You can only have 1 dinosaur on the stage. It's up to you. There's actually, and when you check out the books we have in the library for coding in Scratch, you will see that we actually have a lot more choices where you can even make your dance party a lot more complicated. So it's actually really fun. You can really get into it. But for now, that is how you make a dinosaur dance party. I hope you enjoyed this week's Tech Time, and I will see you guys again later. Bye!